Hello and welcome back to another video. Now this is the special video that I've been hinting at on Twitter and in one of my previous videos, and this is how I play Forza. So as you can see, we're in the options menu, and going to the controller layout, I'm using layout 6, which I'd say the major difference is that shifting is on the shoulder buttons instead. And as you can see, under the options it says vibration, and that's off because I hate the vibration. It's just terrible in my opinion. And again, you can see there at the bottom the vibration scale is 0, so there's absolutely no vibration in my controller. The dead zones are pretty standard, nothing really special there, but yeah, I'm going to show you how I drive with 3 different cars around 3 different tracks, and you're going to have a hand cam, so let's get into the first one. So moving to the first lap here, we are in the Dodge Challenger at Yas Marina Full here, and as you can see, I've put my hand cam in the top right corner. And first off, the laps are not going to be amazing, just because of the way my setup is. I'm in a pretty small room, so I kind of had to put a chair to put my controller on, so you'd have like some kind of background. Otherwise, it would just be a constant crotch shot, which I don't want to have on the internet. But yeah, that's so it's just a chair that I put my controller on, and I'm kind of having to sort of lean forward. It's not very comfortable, and so my driving isn't really up to what it usually is. But in terms of the hand cam, it'll give you a pretty good idea of what it looks like when I'm driving. And I think the first thing that stands out is the thing that I have on my left stick. That's Control Freak Speed Freak Apex, something I've been using for well over a year now. And to me, it just sort of gives me, it basically makes a stick longer. If you have an Elite controller, I think you also have that option sort of from standard with the controller itself. This is basically sort of an aftermarket version, I guess you'd say. But yeah, to me, especially around long corners, I just feel like it gives me better precision. I could probably drive without it. It's just sort of become a thing now. I just use it all the time pretty much. Sometimes it can be a bit clumsy around sort of tighter corners and chicanes, but overall it's a very good product. My brother managed to break my first one, so this is my second one, but other than that it's held up pretty well. And then I think the second thing you'll notice is when I'm shifting, I press A and then one of the shoulder buttons. So into the hard braking zones after the straights, you will have seen it's quite a fumble, or at least it looks like that. You know, when I'm driving, it's not actually very difficult, you know, for each finger to press the right button, because each finger always has one job to do. You know, I don't have to move each finger around to do like several different things. So in my mind, it just makes things easier. So yeah, so much to the controller layout. The rest is pretty standard, I guess. You know, throttle is still right trigger, brake is left trigger, steer is my left stick, and clutch is A. So pretty much the only big change over the layouts 1 and 2 is, you know, what my shift buttons are. But we are almost done with the lap here, so I'm going to catch you guys in the next lap. Right, so moving to the next lap, we are at Road America in this Aston Martin V-Advantage, yes, I can speak. But anyway, this is an A-class car, a very good one actually. I was surprised how good this one is. I think this was one of the first cars that I was gifted, and I just built it up to A-class, and it's surprisingly good. It has 600 horsepower, so it really pulls like a train out of the corners. And on my hand cam, you can see that my controller is completely still. And you know, that's because I don't have any vibration, I didn't have any force feedback, and I never really had the need for it. I mean, I think it was within the first week of me getting Forza 6, I just turned off the vibration. Like, I looked through the menus, tried finding where I could turn it off, because it was really annoying me, because it was a long time ago, but if I remember correctly, it was pretty much rumbling everywhere, on the curbs, on the straights, through the turns while braking. It was constantly rumbling, and you know, it was only now with time that I sort of learned that, okay, the different types of rumbles and how much it rumbles kind of tells you if you're turning in too much, if you're getting on the throttle too early, etc. But as you can see, I'm coping completely fine without having that kind of haptic feedback, because I have the visual feedback, of course. You know, I can see what is my car doing, is it understeering, oversteering, are the tires spinning, etc. And I also have, of course, I can hear what the car is doing. The tire sounds on Forza 6 and Forza 7 for me, I've turned them up a bit more so that I can hear it a bit better. So even if the car is very loud, or if I'm racing, you know, I can hear what the car is doing. And what also helps is I've played a lot, right? Like, I've played Forza 6 over 1,000 hours, and on Forza 7 I don't think it's going to be a lot different. I'm probably going to play a bunch of that game as well. So I kind of sort of know what the car is going to do already, or what the car might do, depending on what my inputs are, what my speed is, what kind of corner it is. So I've just kind of lost the need for force feedback, and you know, sometimes, very rarely, I might be caught out by some understeer or some oversteer that you might have been able to feel if you had force feedback on, but that doesn't happen a lot. And you know, as you can see, I've gotten through this lap pretty well. I only had that one outbreak at the chicane, just because I misjudged when to brake, because this car is still pretty heavy. But yeah, we're gonna finish up this lap, and then I'm gonna catch you guys on for the last lap. Alright, so moving to the final clip here, we are in a B-Class 2010 Renault Clio around Sonoma Short. I had literally just imported my B-Class tune from Forza 6 onto this car, so I haven't driven this car for about a month or so. And of course, it's an old tune on a new game, so I wasn't really sure exactly what was going to happen. And of course, Sonoma has kind of been resurfaced a bit, their curbs are changed a bit. So my first lap here is not going to be particularly great, but yeah, I'm not really sure what to talk about now. I've touched upon sort of my controller layout, the fact that I don't use force feedback. I'm not really sure what to talk about anymore, but my dead zones, for example, they're pretty standard. And you know, I've seen videos on YouTube, for example, Super GT, JSR Devon, and Tax Johnson, and they all seem to use layout 1, and from a lot of people that I've spoken to, you know, they also seem to use layout 1 if they are on controller. There are, of course, there are always going to be people that use other layouts, for example me, but it seems like the majority of people, they stick with layout 1 or layout 2, and I guess that's kind of because you know, if they've played Forza for a long time, you know, they didn't really know about the option to change the controller layout, so they just kind of learned that, okay, shift up is whatever X and shift down is B, right? And you know, they've played with vibration because that was kind of always there for them. But to me, you know, like those were the things that bothered me. It bothered me that I had to shift with my thumb and press clutch at the same time if I wanted to do manual and clutch. You know, I felt it was kind of counterintuitive to have my shifting is like just small buttons beside the clutch. I wanted something that was more like a race car, sort of in terms of paddles. So that's why I looked for a layout that had the shifting on the shoulder buttons, and the vibration, again, as I said before, like it just really annoyed me. So I turned it off, and like I'm coping fine with it. Like I'm not really disadvantaged by it in any way, I'd say. And my driving's also come a long way. So in terms of assists, I use normal steering. I used to run sim steering, but you know, in terms of racing, was just too twitchy and just too unsafe, I guess, for me. So normal is what I run ever since. But yeah, that's pretty much all this video is going to be about. I've kind of rambled on a bit, but it doesn't really matter. I think you guys have gotten a good impression of how I drive. But yeah, we're just going to finish off this lap here, and I can just say this video was a bit annoying to edit, just because it's 2 videos in one basically, and a bit annoying to commentate as well, because my program kind of kept crashing a bit. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and share it. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one, and until then, goodbye.